Hey, good morning, First Christian Church and West Point. It is Wednesday morning, a little after 10:30, so I'm getting a little bit later of a start than I normally do, and that's okay. Things like that happen. I am once again standing in the foyer of the church where you come in and their children's department is right there. You got the stairs that go up into the worship area. You go straight back. You got the fellowship hall. But this behind me is when I'm talking about their sign-up sheets or information down in the foyer, this is where I'm talking. A lot of people, sometimes people, rightfully so, they go in the front doors into the worship area and then they leave that way and they don't ever get down here to see what's going on. And so I make announcements, or we do a weekly update, or it's in the newsletter. But this is the central information hub, I guess you'd want to call it, for what's going on. I mean, over on this side, you got all the church news, the board meeting, the cantata, you got the newsletter, the hymn service. Speaking of hymn service, that's this Sunday. And it is right here, Sunday, December the 15th, starting at 10 a.m. So that means there's no Sunday school. Kind of wrapped all that way up in there. But there's information over there. And on this side is where we have sign-up sheets. And over there, we're going to have the name of the committees. We have groundskeeping volunteers, people who want to do things around the church building, that we can mow the yard, we can do whatever. That's over there. Down below it is something that's very important for the church as well. They're all important, don't get me wrong, but this is probably one of the most important. And that is where the communion prep volunteer sign-up sheet is. That's over there. So when you come in on Sunday, even if you come in the front door, the green doors, to go into worship area, venture on down this way, come down the stairs, and look over on the volunteer sheet. And over at the communion prep, or whatever else that we are looking for, that's going to be over there. Sign up. Sign up for a Sunday. Starting in January, we need people to sign up to do communion. And if you come to church here, if you're a part of the family, and you want to help with, doing communion preparation and so forth, that's the place to do it. And there's going to be other things, but that's where you look to do it. Okay, so we got the Hymn Sunday coming up. No Sunday school this week because we have the Hymn Sunday. So make sure that you're here by 10 o'clock. And that's going to run all the way until, even through our part of the worship service. Then we'll have communion meditation. I think there's going to be a song, communion meditation, communion, and then right into the sermon. So it's going to be a little bit different this week. The board meeting agendas are due today. So if you are a ministry team lead, make sure you have your agendas in today. There is going to be no youth on Monday night. So even though we are having the Monday night Bible study, there's no youth. Sit with your family, sit with your friends, whatever the case may be, but make sure you're still here. We are still in the book of Luke. And so come Monday night, speaking of that, there is food provided. So just show up. All right, we'd love to have you. It's one of our better ministries, most attended ministry that we have going on. Also, the Christmas caroling is going to be on the 18th. If you want to help, if you want to volunteer to be a part of that, please see Trisha. We are limited in the van, but let her know that you're interested and see what we need to do about that as well. All right, so one of the things I was talking about is just get back to work. And that's what we need to do. We have times where we are going through hardships. There's times where we get distracted. There's times where life gets in the way. Peter knew all about that. Peter knew what it was like to mess up. He knew what it was like to be distracted. He knew what it was like to do all sorts of stuff. And Jesus, in his knowledge and love for Peter, he knew that he needed to get Peter back to work. He knew he needed Peter to start doing the things that he needed to. Listen to what he says in John chapter 21, starting in verse 15, says this. When they had finished eating, some of the disciples and Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Yes, Lord, he said, you know that I love you. And Jesus said, feed my lambs. Again, Jesus said, Simon, son of Jesus, do you love me? And he answered, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. And Jesus said, take care of my sheep. So here Jesus is asking him over and over again, hey, I know you had a hiccup. I know that you did something that was wrong. I know that you got stuck. I know that whatever the case may be for you as well. And he looks at you and he says, hey, do you love me? Do you love me? And Peter's going, yes, Lord, you know I love you. And he's like, hey, get back to work. Do you love me? Yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Then get back to work. And he says this again. The third time he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the third time, do you love me? And he said, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. And at the end, in verse 17, Jesus said, feed my sheep. Guys, it's time to get back to work. It's time to do the things that you were called to do. It's time to do the things that you were asked to do. It's time to do things that you may not even think of yet, that you are volunteering to do, that you don't think you're qualified for. You don't think you're doing all, whatever the case, insecurities or whatever the case may be. It's time to get back to work. Jesus said that to Peter. Get back to work. And he's saying to us, get back to work. All right. Love you guys. Have an amazing day. I will talk to you later. Sign up for communion prep, whatever the case may be, whatever else is going to be up there. We all need to be doing it. Time to get back to work. All right. I got to get back to my office. Time to get back to work. I'll talk to you later. Love you guys. See you guys.